Thanks for checking out episode 2 of the Cartridge Bros 2-player reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Gambarian's Pandora's Tower.
Pandora's Tower is actually the third title to be localized as a part of Operation Rainfall.
For anyone who doesn't know, Operation Rainfall was an internet collaboration based at bringing 3 of the Wii's biggest RPGs over to North America. The other 2 titles being Xenoblade Chronicles and Last Story.
That's right, and just like the first 2 that have already come out, Pandora's Tower does not disappoint. Let's take a look. The story for Pandora's Tower is like a crossover between Beauty and the Beast and Romeo and Juliet. The 2 main characters, Aaron and Elena, hail from warring countries, yet they fall deeply in love soon after meeting. However, before they can find their happily ever after, Elena falls victim to a curse which turns their lives upside down forever.
This curse really sucks. It takes this gorgeous, innocent Elena and slowly turns her into a monster. I don't mean she snaps at Aaron when he forgets to make the bed and makes him go shopping and buy her nice clothes. She literally gets hideous and violent, losing herself and becoming a beast. When I picked up this game, I told my girlfriend that I bought a game we could play together because it was telling the story of us. For anyone who buys Pandora's Tower after this, maybe don't do that.
Unfortunately, soon after the mark of the curse is placed on Elena's back, the pair run into a mysterious but helpful nomad who claims to know how to cure Elena, and leads them to the 13 towers where the entirety of the game takes place.
This nomad, Magda, explains how the only way to lift the curse is for Elena to eat the flesh of the monsters residing in the towers, which will subdue the symptoms. But to cure it, she needs to eat the flesh of the 12 masters, 1 from each tower.
And that basically sums up the storyline. And it may not seem deep or interesting enough, but as the game progresses, you begin to feel actual emotions for Elena, and it is more than enough to drive you through the entirety of the game. You'll know what I mean when you return back from the tower, and it's been too long, and she's already begun to transform. It gives you this feeling in the pit of your stomach that you've somehow let this girl down, who is more concerned about your safety than her own survival. And all you ever think about is how you never want to let her down again, which drives you to push on.
Pandora's Tower is an action RPG which utilizes the Wiimote to its fullest extent. You are equipped with a variety of weapons, but the mainstay for the entirety of the game is the Arachlos chain. This weapon/tool is used for everything from damaging enemies to swinging over gaps to retrieving items from far-off ledges. I loved the accuracy of aiming with the Wiimote, and when played with the classic controller, I found it much too difficult to use the analog stick. However, I fracking hated having to waggle the controller like a crazed preschooler with a boogie on my finger to retract it from enemies. Why couldn't Gambarian just make it a button to pull out? After one boss fight, I was so frustrated I was ready to quit the game, until I returned to Elena and she was slimy and purple with tentacles, and all she wanted to know was if I was okay. Turns out, my love for her had grown stronger than my hate for waggling.
Despite the fact that I do agree there should have been a button to pull out the chain, for Gambarian's first major title, the controls were spot on and accurate, and overall I was very impressed. Alongside the whip, chain, you start out with a sword, which can be upgraded by finding various materials throughout the towers, which provided me with enough incentive to keep slaying monsters. The function of the curse is that you are given a time limit to return to Elena and feed her more meat. The higher quality monster flesh you feed her determines how long you can be away before she starts to change again. This adds a sense of urgency to your trips to the towers, and often forces you to decide between a little extra hunting and returning to save her from deformity.
An interesting feature is that you grow your bond with Elena by giving her gifts and talking to her between tower trips. There are 6 different endings you can have, and it is dependent of how strong that affinity is on which you will receive.
I actually spent more time asking Elena how her day was and buying her gifts than I think I have ever done with my own fiancé. But on the plus side, I did get the best ending. Very rewarding. The music of Pandora's Tower was engrossing and immersive. It has an orchestral sound, and even while writing the script of this review, we both found ourselves humming the music from the trailer. At no point in time does the music feel repetitive or annoying, and will be a treat to your ears from start to finish.
The graphics of Pandora's Tower, while grainy and a little choppy, are at the top end of the Wii's capability. But this further proves that shiny pictures and realistic backgrounds do not make a great game.
Each tower has its own unique look and layout, which keeps the game feeling fresh each time you enter a new one. And the game world has a very dark feel to it, making it seem as if you are alone in these towers. Which you are. Overall, Pandora's Tower is an amazing end to not only Operation Rainfall, but the Wii as we know it. The combat style can possibly be comparable to other games, but when you throw in a unique storyline, captivating music, and epic boss battles, you have yourself a great title. It's sad that the Wii has to be put to rest, but because of Pandora's Tower, it sure went out with style.
Not since Final Fantasy VII have I found myself so emotionally attached to a character. Ganbarian did a masterful job of mixing the elements of great storytelling and exciting action to give the Wii a glorious farewell. It is safe to say that we both highly recommend this game to anyone that owns a Wii, and I would even consider purchasing the system just to experience the titles in Operation Rainfall, as I feel they are some of the best games of this generation.
Thanks for watching this episode of Cartridge Bros 2-Player Review. If you like what you saw, feel free to comment and subscribe, and if you didn't, feel free to comment on why.
Until next time, when we review a game that still isn't Zombie U, this is the Cartridge Bros signing off.
Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience.